Do I regret having lived abroad for a year and a bit and leaving everything familiar? Ich kann relativ gut Deutsch sprechen. So I'm starting on a different note. I'm starting on a reflective note. I think we can get extremely overwhelmed when the new year starts and want to fill all that time in the beginning of the year with plans. Have any desire to leave the country? Never had a desire to leave the country. You don't want to leave the country. Please don't feel pressured. Hi everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi. Welcome back, beloveds. It's been such a long time since I got to do this, but I'm happy to be back here. Happy New Year for those who are watching in the new year. I hope you are starting the new year refreshed, well rested, aligned. I think we can get extremely overwhelmed when the new year starts and want to fill all that time in the beginning of the year with plans, and not everybody's wired that way. So I'm starting on a different note. I'm starting on a reflective note. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button. I have seen there's been a lot of traction on my other videos that I've done. Thank you so much for the support in the past year. I'm declaring 2024 the year of YouTube for me. I enjoy this platform. If you don't have context yet, please feel free to go watch the other videos to understand who I am, why I'm on this platform, why I do this. But if you're new here and you're wondering who's this lady, what is she about, what is her platform about, on this channel I talk all things career. I shed a bit of light on my journey, but specifically with the perspective of being a mom, and how I juggle that all, and just to shed some light about my particular experience having navigated sort of an unconventional career path, one that I particularly felt was missing when I was trying to understand where I fit in the world, where my dreams, where my strengths, where my skills fit in. And I find that there's power in sharing our stories. So really the point of being on this platform is for me to share my experience, engage with you all, and hope that somebody gets something from this. If not, that I also learn something from it. So this is a career focused page. This is a motherhood focused page. I'm more than just my career, but I have a strong conviction to pursue what I do. I feel like it's all part of who I am, and I know that there's a lot of people in the world who resonate with this. I also share a lot about traveling and intercultural experiences, a very big part of who I am, and it all fits in very nicely into all things my career path. So this platform is mainly for traveling, motherhood, work. As you can see from the title, today I'm starting on a reflective note. For context, I spent the past year and a bit, about 14 months in Germany. I'm originally South African. I have lived between the two countries, various pockets of my life. Very much feel at home in South Africa, and Germany is an extension of that as well. And if you'd like to find out more about why I took this leap, please go watch my previous videos. But all this to say that I relocated because I wanted to upskill myself in a certain way. And I'm now back because I have upskilled myself in a certain way, and I find it extremely important for me to pay it forward. I know that other people are motivated differently. They relocate and it's a one ticket out of the country to pursue better opportunities. I do think that you can still pursue better opportunities and do the reverse, so to go and come back, and that's been my journey. I'll definitely get into a more personal video about how that experience has been to reintegrate back. Purpose of today's video, I'm discussing all things benefits of having worked abroad. Do I regret having lived abroad for a year and a bit and leaving everything familiar? I definitely do not. I do think that it was the best timing for me, considering that I'm a mom, considering that I have, aspirations and dreams. It almost felt like a divine timing. I don't think that I would have had this opportunity at a different time. But it definitely was the right decision, all things career growth. So what have been the benefits for me in terms of living and working in Germany for a year and a bit? So the most obvious one for me is networking. It has expanded my professional and personal network beyond what I could have ever imagined. And networks, mentoring, and upskilling myself in terms of soft skills have been, I think, a game changer for my career path. And I don't have any other experience, so I'd love to hear from other people on other career paths. But for me, I find that if you are in a public service or you have pursued a social sciences degree, you have to be a holistic human being. People tend to hire personalities like these, people who can bring far more to the table than just their brains. And I've done so much of that and continue to pour into it. But my network is really the biggest asset. I really got the opportunity while doing my fellowship to ask myself the question of what do I still have interest in? And based on that, do I still enjoy this type of work? If so, what do I still need to do? And I really got the opportunity to put myself out there in ways that I wasn't able to do so before, and maybe in ways that will be a bit limited now that I've gone back to sort of a conventional 9 to 5, to be discussed at another time. So my network has expanded beyond what I could have ever imagined, and I also got to feel cemented in what I do and feel really passionate about it, to say, you know what, there's so much more beyond my professional personal network within the country or even the continent. There's now networks professionally, specifically in other countries, and even beyond that. So my network is really rich, and obviously having a network means that there's a responsibility to nurture it. You have to show up, you have to be professional, you have to honor those connections, and I think most importantly understand why certain networks are of benefit in a particular season. So that has been a game changer for me. I already had such a rich network, and now it's 10 times better. The second benefit for me, having worked abroad, has been language skills. So I am already proficient in German. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Ich kann relativ gut Deutsch sprechen. So I got to practice the language. Anyone who speaks German will know that it is filled with nuances. I mean, there's jargon, there's how you speak in a professional setting, there's how you speak personally, there's dialects, there's how you write, that's the written speech, there's the spoken speech. And while German has been a part of my career and my life for more than 20 years, it is something that is not my home language. I don't think in the language. It's not a second nature thing to me. So it needs consistent practicing, nurturing, having just an interest also to keep learning. And I won't lie, those who know me personally will know that I've always tussled a little bit with my relationship with German, and I sometimes have felt pressured to speak it better than I actually know that I can. While I speak it well, I think sometimes people have the perception that I speak it far better than I actually do. And so there's always been this pressure that I've had to carry, being a South African who speaks the language and who speaks it relatively well, that people expect me to speak it on a much higher level. However, being in Germany, I think, gives you the opportunity, if you already speak the language, to obviously refine it and to put yourself in uncomfortable positions and have to work in it. You know, I worked with a German team, meetings were in German, and while I still did my research in English, German was very much part of my life every day, and I definitely am grateful for it. While it was uncomfortable, it's definitely been an added value for me. And so if you don't speak German at all or don't speak any other language, I would encourage you to learn languages. I think it gives you access to people, to cultures, to different ways of life in a way that is very different. And even if you don't use it personally, I think it allows you to connect with people on a far deeper level. So I'm grateful for that. And now obviously I'm working for a German political foundation, and we work, you know, also in English, but I have now a different way and the added benefit of being able to connect even to my work in a different way because I have access to the language. And I think for the first time in a long time, I feel confident again to tap into working in German again. So for me, that was an added benefit and something that I probably needed. I think I needed that nod to say, you've been learning this language for so long. At certain points you don't feel confident, but take the leap, you know, put yourself out there, practice. I think the most obvious one after this would be just cultural awareness. I always vouch for intercultural experiences, to put yourself out there, to mix with those who are not familiar, to travel. If you can't travel or afford to or haven't been given those opportunities, to be curious. I think there's something really valuable about tapping into curiosity. I think when you are forced or when you are willing, when you lean into relating with people who are different, it makes you far more empathetic. It makes you a far more well-rounded person. And if you have aspirations to be a leader, a manager, I think it really fine-tunes those soft skills needed to be able to work with different people. So just the cultural awareness. And if you've watched my videos before, you understand that my experience wasn't all rosy this time around. All things bureaucracy and navigating a different country with kids. But even that was a valuable experience for me. And I've taken those learnings with me from a cultural awareness perspective into my backpack and take them with me on this journey of life, of professional career, navigating all things, just relating with people. So that was definitely an added value. The other one, which is also connected to this, is just the opportunity to travel, the opportunity to have a different relationship with traveling. I've always enjoyed traveling, but prior to living in Germany for a year and a bit with my kids, to be honest, I think I didn't lean into this enough. I think there's plenty of opportunities in the country to travel, in South Africa that is, even on the continent. Yes, I think it's definitely overpriced, and that's a conversation for another day. But I do think there's a lot of opportunities for us to be able to do this, and just being in Europe and being exposed to the accessibility of places shifted my perspective, all things, how easy or how valuable this experience really is. There's been many times where I wanted to travel and just didn't do it because I felt lazy, because of the admin or maybe the expense or the planning. And being in Europe, we had so many countries that were accessible to us, and sometimes I'll just wake up on a Friday and decide we're going somewhere on a Saturday. And just that spontaneity, being able to tap into that and being very open to the challenges that may come with that type of experience was a definite game changer for me. And it has shaped me for life. And I definitely know that this was something that was an added value for my daughter. She got to see the world. I got to experience the world through her lens. And while that may be a personal benefit, I think it's definitely something that is also valuable professionally. I was given opportunities to travel to other places and countries for work as well, and that obviously from a networking perspective was valuable. For visibility it was valuable, and just combining those two experiences, traveling for work maybe, but then seeing what other personal benefit there is. I think that has definitely shifted for me how I perceive this type of experience. And I think now moving forward in my career, if I am offered opportunities to travel, I think I'll definitely do it differently with a much more adventurous spirit, which is something I think I lacked before. I think another one, which is perhaps a little bit broad and might need a video to break it down further, would be the most obvious benefit of working abroad for me, has been from a skills development immeasurable. You're just in a different position, or maybe even better position to grow and upskill. Obviously, I'm one of those people who believe that you need to be present for your life, for your opportunities, for your career, for everything, to be able to recognize when there is an opportunity to grow. But I think when you've uprooted, you've left your comfort zone, you're in a different environment, you're far more hyper aware of everything, even the things that make you uncomfortable. And if you're open to it and you lean in, you can also see those discomforts as invitations to grow. So I think the things maybe that you're not even good at are highlighted even more when you're in a different context, and it gives you the opportunity to say, you know what, let me put my hand up and grow in this way. Or, you know what, let me put my hand up and upskill myself in a certain way that I never thought to when I was in my comfort zone in my home country. Maybe there was no need. So I think from a skills perspective, specifically soft skills, I mean, obviously there's always going to be opportunities for hard skill development, like actual, things that can be certified. But I think from a soft skill perspective, living abroad and working abroad specifically is just a game changer. You grow. I think also the reason why intercultural exchange is something that is often encouraged, even in certain interventions, is because when you interact with other people, other cultures, other cultural nuances, you are forced to think of finding solutions in different ways. You're forced of, well, maybe not forced, but you're encouraged to think of different perspectives, consider different perspectives, and that will definitely benefit you, specifically in your career growth. I mean, now I'm back in the country. That was definitely always the plan. But I can definitely feel it in my spirit that I'm just a different person. All things, just also my outlook on my work, my outlook on my life, my outlook on where my work fits in my life, what motivates me. And I think as a person who might want to lean into a more public service kind of role, this particular season in my life and being encouraged to grow in that way has been immeasurable and probably be an experience that I'll look back on for many years to come. And that's where I'll wrap it up. I think there's obviously other things that are beneficial that are maybe more context specific, country specific, but living abroad is a game changer. If you don't have the opportunity or not afforded the opportunity to live in another country, I would still encourage people to seek opportunities in other provinces, other regions, and I think you'll probably have similar experiences. It's definitely been something that has been valuable for me, and I'll always vouch for it. Please do get in touch with me if you specifically want to go to Germany. I think there's a lot of organizations, especially within academic space, which share a lot of opportunities. I'll actually share a link for DAAD, which is one that is very popular. They have a lot of scholarship opportunities. And I would really encourage you to look. All it takes is just a quick Google search, or even just think beyond yourself and say, hey, I never considered this. Maybe there are opportunities. What is out there? So all things Germany, I think I can shed light. There's also a video I've done about opportunities in Germany specifically. But if it's not Germany, there's many other YouTubers who talk about this type of experience. And maybe as a last point, if you don't have any desire to leave your country, you've never had a desire to leave your country, you don't want to leave your country, please don't feel pressured to. Your career can still flourish. You as a person can still do great things in the world without this experience. So I am in no way framing this as a must. It has just been a beneficial experience for my career path, and I'll always vouch for it. And I think it can only change you in the best ways, if you're present enough and willing to lean in and recognize those things. So I'll leave it there for today. Let me know in the comments what you're interested in, all things my career, so that I can plan for the year. But I do intend to touch on what am I actually doing? What does my day-to-day look like? And what do you need to do to get there, at least from my perspective. I think a lot of people don't really know. So that's something I'll definitely touch on. I want to also touch on topics that are still related to Germany that will help people, such as integration in terms of kids. I have done a few videos with my daughter, but more specific ones. And obviously we'll touch on the journey back, so the reintegration process. How has that been? Things to consider in the job search when you come back. Things to consider when you are only looking for short-term chances and opportunities but have very much the intention of coming back. Things to consider when you have a more long-term goal and you want to live in another country for the long term. I mean, there's so many topics, but I'd love to hear from all of you what you'd like to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Check you next time.